Hi, everybody. This is Nate. Happy Friday. And I am so glad that you're joining me for this video, for this recording. This video is about predictions. I have received almost 100 questions from you, and I will be answering them and making predictions in this video, answering the questions that you ask. I really appreciate every single one of you who asked a question. I believe with the best of my abilities that I have actually captured the names of every single person who asked a question, and I will be responding to all the questions that I've received. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will make sure that I share the name of the person asking the question so that you can be recognized for interacting with me. So thank you so much for that. Before we get started, just a couple reminders. The first one is that from the previous predictions video, I have selected a winner from the comments, someone that I will announce at the end of this video that will win a three questions reading. So you can email me three questions and you will get my reading on your three questions, and that would be your gift and your prize. And so I will be doing this again for this particular video. So if you're hearing me right now, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment with anything that you would like to share about this video. And you could be entered in a drawing again for a three questions reading. Also, a couple updates on the channel. Today, Friday, the last day of February 28th, I will be at 5 p.m. live to answer your questions on politics, current events, global events. The Sunday, as usual, 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing personal live questions. Saturday, I will be live with Shari from Voices from the Swamp, and it will be 11:30 Central Time in the US. And then a quick reminder that I have a tarot class on March 15. You can attend live or it will be recorded. It's a 2 hours class. The link is in the description of the video, and it's for beginners. It's really about first steps, foundation into tarot. I think it will be a lot of fun. We are going to be close to 30 people in this class. All right, I think I covered everything. We are going to be going to the US and around the world for this particular video. So it will be fairly short in each question, each answer. If I feel that I need to put some additional cards, I will do it live. But I've done this week a lot of the pre-work during the readings ahead of time. Otherwise, it would just be too long. So I will answer about 55 questions here, and we are getting started now. So we're starting with the US, and the first question were from Shepard and Auntie Vaughn, and they're asking about a prediction for the US with the current administration for March. What do I see for March and what do I see for April? All right, so for March, I feel that the focus will be the economy. Everything that I see coming out of the Trump administration is touching on the economy. So we're looking at questions tied to employment, questions tied to tariffs, interest rates, money, and budgets. March will be very much of that. I do see Trump being blocked, a lot of blockage in terms of what he's trying to do from the court or even from the House. But I feel like it's going to be a month all over money. We're going to go into details with the next questions. In April, I feel like this is going to turn into updates in terms of the actions taken by Doge and the impact on unemployment, layoffs, and the restructure, as they call it, the restructure or the optimization of government. But again, I also do see blockages from the justice in general and some issues that are blocking Trump and Musk to move forward. So they're able to do things, but not as much. That's kind of the theme. March feels very much about money. Okay, Sylvia, Rita Gordon asking, do I see changes to Medicaid? Yes, there will be cuts. I feel pretty deep cuts, unfortunately, that are coming out of the budget, and we should know more about this in March. NAS 4162 is asking regarding the SSDI, which is the disability. Will that be cut immediately, or do I do see some cuts in the Social Security disability? I don't see that. I don't feel that they're attacking that in the near future. Even when I try to push out towards the end of the year, I don't see that either. So I feel that overall, there's some protection around SSDI and disability. Georgia was asking me about the situation with federal employees fighting for the fires this summer and how that would look like. What I saw there was there will be fewer personnel, fewer federal employees. He has fired and let go quite a few and will continue to do so. However, I feel that there will be other people coming to the rescue, volunteers, there will be some support. I feel that overall it will be tense, a tense situation when we look at the fires, but there will be support, there will be additional workers coming to the rescue. I feel that a number of Fed employees will continue to fight the fires, but not all of them. There will be a reduced workforce, and I know this is worrisome. Amy is asking regarding the US aid employees. So they're currently on leave of absence. Will they be reintegrated? And what's going to happen with the US aid? I don't see them reintegrated anytime soon, except I do feel that they're going to reintegrate a handful of key programs. So the people attached to those key programs will then stay and the aid will continue. But it's a short, small subset of the entire pool of US aid and US workforce that are working for US aid. Stone for Life. Will the federal workers' job come back? Yes, some will come back. We're not looking before 6 months to a year. I feel that this would be some of those jobs will be the workers that are laid off, unless they've been asked to come back real soon because there were mistakes. Otherwise, they will have the opportunity to some jobs to reintegrate the federal workers in 6 months to a year and via reapplying again, but a small subset. Jilly is asking about the unemployment in the US. I do see the unemployment increasing. I feel that because of the federal workers, but also because I feel that as we get to the summer and the second half of 2025, there will be more layoffs, just because the economy will not be good. I share that I see interest rates going up, unemployment going up, and I do feel that it will impact inflation with prices going up as well. So there will be more unemployment, particularly as we get to the summer and the second half of 2025. Now, I really also wanted to say that I feel that the Trump administration will mask the unemployment numbers, where I feel that they will exclude the federal workers or manipulate the numbers so that the federal workers are not included in the general statistics. I feel like they're gonna play with the numbers. Okay, so whatever numbers that we've been given, it's actually gonna be more. The next question from Light Love Being, cuts to rental assistance. Do I see cuts to rental assistance in the consideration of the HUD or USDA program? I do see some cuts as well, but I don't see them soon. But I feel like this year there will be some cuts to the rental assistance. I am sorry to say. Um, I don't get the rental assistance will be the primary budget cut, but there will be some cuts there. And for sure, not growing. That is part of the budget discussions, and we were gonna hear more about that in the month of March. Okay, an interesting question about from Pam 4337. This is related to Trump and Musk discussions about going uh, to fourth, I forgot the name, for for Fort Knox, yes, not Fort Worth, but Fort Knox, regarding the gold reserves. And what do I see there? So I did an extensive readings because that one was fascinating to me. That was following Trump's discussions on CPAC, where he was talking about, well, there hasn't been an audit since 1974 or something like this. What if the gold is not there? I'm going to go with Musk, etc., etc. Um, so I might not have the full story, but a couple of things that I see is that I feel that some of the gold belongs to or has moved internationally. There's been movement around this gold at Fort Knox, and some of it is almost tagged with international possessions or move internationally. And I basically also felt that the goal of all this was to create a rise in the value of Bitcoins. So I'm not an expert on currencies, but I do feel that if I look at it from a psychic level, it feels that they're looking at I was getting Bitcoin, increasing the value of Bitcoin, and I feel that that would probably because there's a lower value of the gold and transferring or trying to move more of the Bitcoin in the public domain as a currency. This is what it feels to me in terms of this big maneuver by Trump and Musk. Actually, I got a question from Dragon Rising about the value of gold this year, and I see the ups and downs. I see that there's definitely something about gold. It's been increasing a lot, but I feel that they see gold competing with Bitcoin, and they're going to try to bring the value down to raise the value of Bitcoin. It feels very artificial. So that's what I'm seeing. A question from CS. Inflation in the US. I see inflation rising. You probably got that from me before summer and second half of 2025. The same thing with interest rates increasing on the summer and the second half of 2025 and probably continuing on 2026, which is going to be a problem for the midterms in 26. Uh, Mecta K, what do I see with the Tesla share price? So the Tesla share price has gone down quite significantly because mostly about low sales in Europe. And I feel like this share price is going to continue to suffer from mostly the boycott into Europe, but also in the US. So that's going to be a problem definitely for Musk. That is one of the areas where he's going to feel the pressure. Flower, continuing to talk about Musk, do I see Musk accessing secrets from the Doge work and from his access to things in the government that would be helping him with SpaceX. Yes, I feel that he's being able to access information that will help him with SpaceX, which is an obvious conflict of interest. But I feel that this later on will be exposed. Diane was asking me about the gold cards, kind of like a play on word with green cards. Trump wants to do gold cards. Maybe people who want to bring $5 million and stuff. I feel like there's already programs. They're saying there's already programs within the immigration for people who have money they want to invest in the US. I'm not sure this is going to be called gold cards, but that will be tied to an investment program that's already existing and a immigration visa. So it's a lot of talk, but in reality, those programs they kind of exist already today. So it's just a lot of talk. Jackie Jan was asking me about retailers. So either physical retailers like Macy's and Best Buy and Walmart, online retailers like Amazon. What are they going to see for their business? And that again, I feel that there's going to be less consumption, there's going to be less sales, there's going to be a pressure. The second half of 2025, the Christmas season, I don't see it being good. I see them even getting pressure to let some people go, unfortunately. Jen Blow about a question about Juneteenth. Will this stay a national holiday? I'm getting a yes, but I do see these and other holidays that are kind of in that same group of recognition of the history and etc. being under attacks. But I don't see Juneteenth being removed. Kitana, will Trump be impeached? I'm getting a yes, and I do get the sense like he will be impeached in the second part of the term between 26 and 28. I'm getting more and more the sense that the House will turn blue by the midterms. Photo Heart asking me, will Trump do his 4 years? I've always said the same in terms of what I see here. I feel that I see him doing the 4 years, but I see his health being a big problem. And so that would be a possible reason where he doesn't do the 4 years. If his health doesn't improve, you might have heard me say, I see a surgery, I see him on a wheelchair. There's something about his health. So if he's not doing the 4 years, it's because of his health. Otherwise, he will do the 4 years, but the second half very diminished in all levels, which is kind of a point I want to make here because I know I started with a lot of difficult news, unemployment, cuts, etc. We have to hold on very, very tight. There's a lot of pushback from boycotts, from the people, the protests, from the courts. And the more it's basically we have to apply is delay tactic, the best to his own self. And the more we can the more we can push until the midterms in 26, the better, because we're reducing his ability to do damage. The same tactic that he applied to delay the court will delay him as much as we can. And so protests, delay, boycotts, basically delaying everything. Once we have the House, everything changed, and it's much harder for him to do things, and he's diminished the second half. So we have to hold on tight, and I know that right now it's a very, very tough time, but there's hope. There's real hope. Start with Gina. is Trump, there were stories about Trump being hired by the KGB. Is he a Russian asset? So was he basically bought by um, Putin? Well, everything looks like it. What the cards say is that he is definitely working with and sometimes for Putin for entertainment purposes only. Um, you sometimes feel like when he speaks, this is Putin speaking. There's definitely been involvement from Russia. This is actually true in the election in 2024. The the um, the bomb threats, for example, has been recognized by the FBI as a Russian intervention. So whether we call this Russian asset or not, it doesn't really quite matter to me. There's a tie, there's agreement with Russia that is making him extremely biased. That's how I would describe. Honey, will Project 2025 succeed? To some degree, yes. Maybe not all the way, not the whole Project 2025, but in the current government, you have a lot of people who participated to Project 2025. A lot of what we see comes from Project 2025. Maybe it's not only Project 2025 and just Project 2025, but it's a lot of Project 2025. So from that standpoint, it's pushing the 2025 project. Susan, do I see RFK Jr. lasting? Yes, but I do see a lot of challenges for him as those diseases are surfacing. I actually want to put a card on it. I'm gonna put a card on like the situation with those diseases. What do I see? Like, is this what's gonna happen with the polio, the measles, like what should we, the bird flu, it also hearing that there's some COVID viruses back in China, like, what's in terms of health and what's the situation? Eight of Cups. You see, this is a card of that to me tells viruses to me, this card. The water, the flow. Queen of Cups was one of my cards for the COVID-19 pandemic. So I feel like there's definitely something. I get the Tower, I get the High Priestess. There's something going on with those viruses that's also in my predictions. So when I did my 2025 predictions, so yes, I feel like this is gonna be definitely a challenge this year, and this is gonna be very difficult for RFK Jr. to manage. Continuing with the US, Dorothy, will Rubio resign? I got a no on that. I don't see him resigning. A question from Speds. With the White House press secretary, what's going on with the White House press secretary? I believe her name is Caroline Levitt, and I actually don't see her lasting. I believe there will be a change of press secretary, and that might coincide with the midterms or sooner. What are the MAGA, Ray? What are the MAGA thinking of Ukraine and Gaza? I don't feel like MAGA cares that much about Ukraine and Gaza. Whatever it says, like we're gonna get the money back, this and that. I think MAGA is just concerned about, hearing things about immigration, hearing things about, Trump, being strong and all of that. I don't think they have come nowhere near their care or support for Ukraine or Gaza. Okay. Um, Jimmy Carter, what do I see for Vance and Musk when Trump is having health issues or surgery? Felt like he will be having surgery. I see a fight between a fight between Vance and Musk. Difficulties, but I see during a time when Trump will have to be, medically or deal with the hospital or something like this. I do see Vance having the upper hand on Musk, maybe just because of hierarchy. But by that time, I think Vance will have a more higher role into what's happening. Um, Question about, and I forgot who asked this question. So my apologies. I tried to give credit for who asked the question. What do I see with Biden? So Biden, Joe Biden, I had two cards. I had the Hermit and the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is his wife, so I do feel that Jill is by his side. The Hermit gives me a sense of isolation. So I feel like he feels isolated, but a lot of support from his wife. Pamela asked about, we're getting more into political politics here. Um, Pamela asked about Mark Cuban. What do I see for him? I feel like he's interested about a presidential run in 2028. I just don't see him president, but I see an interest. We will have to check. Could possibly go to primaries, but there's an interest. Lupe, which I talked with yesterday, so hi. Um, Talking about the House seats in the midterm, the House seats before the midterms, special elections. And Elizabeth asked the same question. Will that be allowing us to flip the House and turn the House blue? No, because I feel like those seats will be red. Marie, which I also did a reading for too, actually, um, is asking about the Epstein files. Will that expose the truth about Trump? No, I don't see those files coming out anytime soon. When I read the cards, I saw money, I saw cover up, so I don't see anything coming out super soon exposing him. So I believe we are done with the US. And now I'm going to move with Canada. The first question was from Sherry Kenna. There's a decision about the leadership. I believe this is to replace Trudeau on March 9. Will that be Chrystia Freeland or Mark Carney? And I believe this is Mark Carney because I got a mail, and so I feel like this will be him. I got a question from Mary W. and Karen about the Ontario election changes in leadership. I believe this election recently took place, so I am not too sure. But what I saw was, I believe they're conservative, so no change in leadership, but I see more collaboration with liberals. So I believe the question maybe was passed and I answer where the decision's already made because I looked it up and I wasn't sure. However, the reading said there will be more collaboration. Mamaka, will Canada get into a crisis, economical crisis in April? I wouldn't call this a crisis, but a slow growth. That's what I feel, which is the kind of the economy not really growing, and it's almost like a very small growth. Mars 9953, what do I see for interest rates for Canada in 2025 going up, 2026 going up? Now I'm moving towards Ukraine and Russia. So I had a question from Elizabeth about Mark Rutte. I hope I'm saying this right. He is I believe, the secretary for NATO. And is he basically more on the Ukraine side, or is he more the US or the Russian side. Basically, what is he really doing? And I got the sense here that the cards were showing that he was playing a little bit both sides. He might be saying the right things, but I feel like he's leaning more towards the US backdoor to Russia. So for entertainment purposes only, but I get the sense here that there's a difference between what he says and what actually he's trying to do. Um, I'm not getting the full trust that he has Ukraine's best interest. A question from CS. Will the EU intervene in the Ukraine situation? Yes, as a peace corps or something of keeping the peace of the integrity of the territory. I did say in my 2025 prediction that I saw a peace deal with Ukraine. There will be one. Actually, something that I want to mention is that we're talking today, I believe, with Zelensky visiting Trump in the White House. And I see, and I'm aware that there's a shift in the minerals or the land and the minerals, special minerals deals. It's presented by Trump to repay the US for the what's been spent on Ukraine. It is not. This is to help with the reconstruction. So there's some disinformation there that is coming from the deal that came that way, but the one that will be signed, I believe, is not about paying back the US. It's about a joint, I'm going to call it joint venture or the Marshall Plan, something along those lines to rebuild the Ukraine. Um, what do I see for the Ukraine in general from Freno Frobis? I do feel that I do see a lot of slow healing for the Ukraine starting now. Like I feel like I see a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. There will be some sort of peace deal that's going to be painfully achieved. And then as we get to this year and next year and for so many years, a slow path to heal. Random PC saying that I mentioned that I saw Putin leaving this year. Do I still see that? I'm saying yes. I looked on the cards, and what I see is health issues for Putin. And so that I think will create some sort of a change in Russia. Lisa F. does where does Finland stand in relationship to Russia? Something to be worried for this year? No, I don't feel like there's an immediate threat. We are moving now to the UK. So let's do the UK. Um, CA Dreaming. What do I see with King Charles? So I see the situation with King Charles in the UK as a stable situation, but I do see the mood of the British people um, not being good. I feel that there's a resentment against the government. I do see resentment against the royal family because I feel like we're gonna get into 2025 with people feeling left out, and I do see a resentment about both the government and the royal family. Do I see Harry coming back? I'm not seeing that. Will there be a reconciliation? I feel like there will be baby steps towards reconciliation, but I don't think we're going to see like a big reconciliation. But I don't see him coming back. Jeanette asked if the UK will go back to the EU. I don't see that. She's also asking about the Scottish economy. I see challenges in the Scottish economy, kind of like other countries in the world, slow growth or no growth. Germany, moving to Germany. A question from Roxane, were the elections fair? I got a yes. I don't see anything that tells me that there was like something that really shifted the election. If you remember, I predicted that the AfD party would come second, and they did. I'm gonna pull a card, a fair election in Germany. fair election in Germany. I got the Lovers, which talks about, relationships. So it doesn't give me a sense of cheating. I feel like there were maybe some agreements between parties, or there were, some deals and things like that. But in the sense of hacking or cheating, I don't see this. I feel like Ace of Pentacles, it moved forward. The Hangman, there's no card that give me a sense here that there's cheating. So I get a no on that. Um, Justin, what do I feel about Merz, the leader of the Conservative Party? Which is interesting because obviously, if I were German, I would not have voted for him. But I'm getting some good energies for him. He wants to solidify Europe against Russia. He wants to solidify the union in Europe and the partnerships. So I'm not saying like he's the best person, but I don't have like a really bad opinion of him. I've heard some good things, and I feel from the cards that he wants to work with the other parties, and he wants to do more partnership within Germany and within Europe. So I don't feel like this is necessarily bad. I would have preferred other parties like the Linker or personally or the Green Party or the SPD. That would have been my choice. But definitely taking Merz over the AFD person. Andrew, which I say hi. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and healing well. Um, do I see the funding for the arts in Germany coming back? No, I see, because the money of all of that is going to defense. And I feel like Germany will up their defense budget. And so they need to find the money somewhere. And unfortunately, it's coming from places like the arts. Sorry, Andrew. I wish, but I don't see that. We're moving to Netherlands. Irene, do I see a government fall? No, I just saw in the cards a lot of fighting, disagreement, behind the scene stuff. I just didn't see a fall. Italy, from Chris Piazza, I know, who's very concerned about the situation with Meloni. Will Meloni try to get out of the EU? No, I don't see that happening. Prayer Warrior, now we're moving to France. I did mention, and this did happen, a scandal in France with the prime minister. And I feel like there will be government changes this summer. So what do I see in France? Government changes this summer. Final question. Carla Miller, will the EU try to fight and stand up against Trump? And my answer is yes. And they will use the economic power of the EU, because that's what you respond to, the economy. So the EU will stand up primarily economically, then maybe second with defense, but primarily with the economy. I'm going to pull on card on that. Five of Pentacles, this is definitely about money and the economy. Eight of Cups, a need for change, leaving a situation. King of Swords, some decisions there. Yes, I feel like there will be some pushback just because the EU is being forced to. So that is basically what I see. I think I've been through like 55 predictions and questions. And then last but not least, the winner of the email reading, and please contact me by email and we will arrange your reading, is Kathy to Elker 805. So congratulations, Kathy. You want a reading with me? And I will conclude this reading by this video by thanking you, by really expressing how much I care about how you're being involved, the questions you ask, the interest you have in the readings, whether it's like the Lenormand card readings, the straight up predictions, or the personal questions. Really, really loving the interaction with the community. So if you want to win a reading, just put some comments down below. And thank you again. I hope that I've answered all your questions. If I missed one, pardon me, and just let me know in the comment, and we will do that again, maybe in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and speak to you soon. I'll be on tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern. So this will be an opportunity to ask further questions on this video or ask clarifications. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.